What? Don't get too crazy. Don't get too designery with your trees, because you know what? There's a lot of people in the household, and this is the time to be sentimental about your trees. Put on there what you want to put on there. Oh, well, speaking of tree decor, we tracked down the man who actually was responsible for a video called The Complete Christmas Tree, known as Dr. Christmas, to find out how he combines his unique styles with his clients' decor. Let's take a look. Christmas comes but once a year, but when it comes to this opulent home in Beverly Hills, it really comes in style. Big enough to hold 3 Christmas trees, a canvas this size is a great challenge to any designer. How do you create a feeling that is traditional and carry it from one end of the house to the other? You can start by calling the doctor. Dr. Christmas, that is.
I started in the visual department at Macy's in Herald Square. And I started doing Christmas for a lot of boutiques, and one day this lady walked in and said, "Gee, I wish somebody would do that in my home." And I thought, well, why not?
The first thing that Dr. Christmas needed to do was to get a feel for the house and the features that make it unique.
One of the things about this particular house is it's a grand home. And I say grand home as opposed to house, because it's very much lived in. It's every designer's dream to have a spiraling staircase and 2 beautiful alcoves and a crystal chandelier and a polished marble floor in order to create Christmas. And so I kind of started the statement here. And one of the best shots in the house is actually standing at the top of the stairwell, and you're looking down and just following the spiral all the way down to the bottom to where a smaller tree is located, which matches the design that's carried on throughout the house.
Dr. Christmas realized that the way to decorate this house was to bring it all together to use a unified design theme. He relied on the family to help him create that theme.
I listened to them a little bit about what their favorite colors are and what they had as children, because Christmas, for all of us, is generally what we had as a child. Even in the most sophisticated homes, whatever you grew up with, the element will show up somewhere because it's important. And I find out what that element is, and then we expand upon it.
Red and gold dominate the color scheme throughout the house, complemented by subtle white lights. The overall effect is one of grace and elegance.
I would generally say any designer has their look or what makes them popular. In my case, it just happens to be the ribbon. Because the house is very classical in nature, I mean, it's loaded with lots of stately art and fixtures and furniture pieces, it has to have an element of sophistication. So keeping with traditional classic Christmas colors, gold is always a very safe thing. Lots of crystal on that tree, just to give it a lot of that sparkly, glittery effect. This tree is actually a larger version than the one we just saw near the stairwell, because I didn't want it to be a mishmash. And Christmas too often, in certain homes, they decorate it blue and green here and red and green there and golden here, and it's flashing, it's blinking. And what happens is, when it's all said and done, you're looking around going, there's just too much going on. And so I wanted just a really simple elegance at the end of the journey.
The tree is the traditional focal point of any house at Christmas, and the doctor has made all the trees in this home into living works of art.
There's a lot of thought put into people's Christmas trees, a lot of warmth, it's a symbol of what is supposed to be a very happy time. So of course, when people walk into people's homes, you look for the warm spots, you look for the sections of the home that you want to be drawn to. And looking at a person's Christmas tree can tell you a lot about the person.
Wasn't that pretty? By the way, the name of the charity event was not Kid Kind, it's Child Kind. I just want to remember that for all of our children who are in need of some of your help as well. Well, the house that you just saw was actually the Hilton Mansion, the guy who owns all the big hotels. And the person who decorated that, will you please welcome Dr. Christmas, also known as Bob Pranga. Hey, Bob, how are you?
Hey, Chris. Good to see you.
Nice to see you.
Happy holidays.
Boy, you got a fun job.
Oh, yeah, you know, it beats doing yard work.
Very good. Well, you've brought us a very interesting looking tree. Can I describe what you've done here, Bob?
Well, essentially, this is not your average Christmas tree. This was actually designed for a client of mine who didn't want red and green because her house didn't really, lend itself to that. So
okay.
She said, I want it wild, I want it crazy, I like animal prints, and so this is kind of what we came up with.
That's beautiful.
And she also didn't want to spend a lot of money, okay?
Oh, I've had a couple of those clients before, yeah.
So essentially, we have, I started the tree here. One of the best ways to do your tree, if you want to save a little bit of money but put on a big show, is to create a statement piece, and that's what this king is doing, okay? There's actually 3 of them, but he's the only one that made the cut.
Okay.
So we put Mr. King right up, you know, in the center of the tree and essentially built the story around it.
That's a great idea. So you already have an instant focal point immediately.
Absolutely, and you know, everything around it is just accent. I kind of tend to look at decorating a Christmas tree like when you're doing a movie. You have your stars, your co-stars, and your feature players.
So you're telling a story.
Absolutely.
Now you've got a little surprise for us.
Well,
this is not a one-sided tree. This is a two-sided tree.
Yeah, this came about because one of my clients was having a luncheon with a group of people, and they were coming back that night for dinner, and she wanted something different. So we came up with 2 sides of the tree for 2 different looks.
Okay, here we go.
So we have basically, say, our evening dinner plans here, but during the luncheon,
do we love this?
something a little more romantic.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but am I seeing a dress here in the middle of the tree?
That you are, Christopher. That is one of those fabulous bridesmaid dresses, and I know somebody's got one hanging in the closet somewhere. But essentially, this is, again, about saving money, because essentially most of the ladies only wear these dresses once, but most of these clothes are made with the type of fabrics you often find in Christmas, satin, lace. A lot of them have jewels, bows, etc. So essentially, I took it out of my sister's closet. She doesn't know it's gone yet.
That's right.
And I thought this will look great in a tree, and once again, built a story around a centerpiece.
That's
so
perfect.
everything around it just kind of matches the tree, giving it a little bit of a romantic look, and it essentially was for a bridal shower.
Big hand for Bob Pranga. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, Christopher.
Thank you for sharing your ideas with us. We'll be right back. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Up next, learn how to light up your holiday decor with this fabulously festive centerpiece.